Hey guys, welcome back. Here we find ourselves again on the videos doing distance learning. So I really enjoyed the 2 weeks that I got to spend with most of you guys. Enjoyed throwing paper airplanes in class, drawing controversial symbols, making a bunch of jokes with you, and also blowing up puppies, my personal favorite. But the best part, honestly, was just being able to see your face, hear your voices, get to figure out a little bit about your personalities, and to be able to help you guys a little bit easier. So things are going so well. Grades went up quite a bit after we were able to do the retakes. I felt like being able to do the review in person was really beneficial. You guys responded well to it. Whenever I did the retakes for the midterm, grades were going up quite a bit. You guys were figuring out things. Also, I was able to read and see kind of some of the algebra mistakes some of you guys are still making. So anyway, a lot of good things going on. Unfortunately, we're right back to distance learning. Hopefully, we can go back to the classroom soon and stay in the classroom. The prospect of only seeing you guys twice before for the whole entire first semester like breaks my heart, because normally we would have 90 days in the classroom together, and I'll take what I can get, but two, it's really hard to build relationships. But anyway, going forward, since we're going back to distance learning, we will be doing our Google Meets every day at 11 o'clock. So we'll use the same link that we did before. I'll probably post something again just to remind you guys about that, and so you can find the links again. Also, hopefully now that we have more of a relationship, you feel more comfortable asking for help. I'm a teacher. This is what I'm doing. My schedule is pretty clear for the day because I'm not having to lecture anymore. So I can do private tutoring sessions if you're ready, and I can get you caught up on things that you need. So please reach out. Let me help you. It's what I want to do. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get into the transformations practice solutions. So if you've taken the actual practice test, submitted it onto Master Connect, we'll go ahead and get right into this. So only 16% of my students have done that at the time I filmed this, but I want to go ahead and get the information out to you for those that have. So which translation rule describes a translation that is moves 7 units to the left and 4 units up? So on this one, if we're moving to the left, that's going to be x minus 7. So x minus 7 is going to move it to the left. And then moving up 4 is going to be y plus 4. So that'll be our translation for the rule. So we're starting out with x and y. It becomes x minus 7 and y plus 4. So our answer would be B as in Bravo. Everyone who took this so far up to this point had gotten it right. So good job. What picture shows the translation of triangle ABC translated by the rule here? So on this one, x is going plus 2, which is going to move it to the right 2, and then y minus 3 is going to move it down 3. So that would be, if we look on the first one here, going from A to A prime, because we have our pre-image to our image, which is the A prime is always the image of the transformation. Looks like we're moving to the right 2 and then down 1, 2, 3. So sure enough, this is it. On this one, we're actually moving to the left 2 and then up 1, 2, 3. So be careful, because we switched the order of the A and the A prime. So that was the most common mistake here, but our correct answer is actually going to be alpha. Which graph shows a triangle its reflection across the x-axis? This one's a translation because the orientation is not moving, it's just moving up and down or left and to the right. This is a rotation, clearly, whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, we don't know because they weren't labeled the pre-image or the image. But here we have a reflection across the y-axis, and here we have a reflection across the x-axis. So D would be our correct answer. Be careful, just a simple mistake there. Remember, our x-axis is going to be the horizontal one, and our y-axis is the vertical one, right? All right, number 4, vertices of the triangle are given here. What are the vertices of the image when reflected across the y-axis? So if you forget the rule, just go back here, look at the one that's reflected across the y-axis, graph 2 points here. So we're going from here to here. That's going to be the point, looks like 3, 3. And then over here we have the point -3 and 3. So what changed? Well, when we reflect across the y-axis, the y stays the same, and the x coordinates are going to become opposite. So the y is going to stay the same when it's on the y-axis, and we're going to change the x coordinates. So that's going to be minus. This is going to be a plus now. This one's going to be a plus. So we're looking for A prime, which is positive 2, negative 5. So positive 2, negative 5. B prime, which is positive 1, positive 4. And then C prime is negative 4, negative 8, negative 3. So our answer would be C as in Charlie, which most of you guys got that right, which is good. Let's move on to number 5. We're going to do the same thing, but now we're going to reflect across the x-axis. You can probably guess how that's going to be done based on the last rule, but if not, we'll just go back here and graph one out. So reflecting across the x-axis, we're going to go down here. So that's going to start out at the point 1 and 2. It's going to end up at the point 1 and negative 2. So when we reflect across the x-axis, the x remains the same. The y value becomes opposite. So this time we're going to change the y values to opposite. So it'd be plus 5, this would be minus 4, and this would be plus 3. So it's going to be 8, positive 3, so it has to be B as in Bravo. It's the only one that's those two, so it is B. Good job. Number 6, what are the coordinates of R prime if triangle ABC is rotated 9 degrees clockwise about the origin? So first we're going to graph the L to R, which is going to be over the axis 2 and then into the quadrant 4. Then we're going to rotate the L 90 degrees clockwise, which is going to move it down here. We're going to graph that L, so we're going to go 2 along the axis down here and then 4 into the quadrant, which will give us the point here, which is going to be a location of R prime, which is at the point 4 and -2. So 4, -2 is going to be B as in Bravo. All right, so one of the most missed problems, again, just draw the L, rotate the L, whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, and you should be good. All right, number 7, which graph shows, this is going to be used, the same 4 answer choices are used for number 7 and number 8. The dashed line is the image of A. So the solid is the pre-image. The image of A is going to be the dashed one. So if we look at number A, this one we drew our L and we rotated it, that's going to rotate 180 degrees. So we're looking for 90 for this one. This one is rotating 90 degrees, and it is rotating counterclockwise. They wanted clockwise, so it's actually going to be this one, which rotates 90 degrees clockwise. So our correct answer for number 7 would be C as in Charlie. Then number 8, we wanted 180 degrees. Well, that would be A. If we look over here, this rotation, this part is straight, but it's not like it's supposed to be. It was twisted or something. So anyway, this is none of the above, really. All right, number 9, which statement describes the transformation shown? Well, if we're going from A to A prime, C to C prime, B to B prime, it looks like it's shrinking, so this would be a dilation. If the scale factor K is less than 1, it's a reduction, and it is getting smaller, right? If you notice, all these values are moving in. So we have our value from A to A prime. I'm going to use these second ones here, so we're going from 6 to 2. What's my scale factor to multiply to go from 6 to 2? Well, to figure that out, you can use a formula here, where we have our K, our scale factor is the image divided by the pre-image. In this case, our image is 2, and our pre-image is 6, so 2 divided by 6 is going to be equal to 1/3. So this is a scale factor of 1/3. If we look up here, it's not a translation. It's not moving left and right or up and down. It's not getting bigger. It's actually getting smaller. So D is the only one that even makes sense. But it's good to know how to find the scale factor anyway. Number 10, what about this one? Well, now we're going from A to A prime, B to B prime, C to C prime. Clearly, it's getting bigger. So this is going to be an enlargement, so K is going to be larger than 1. If we take the points here, which is at 3 and 3, and then the point up here, which is at 9 and 9, this should sound familiar. What are we multiplying by? Well, if we take our image divided by our pre-image, so 9 divided by 3, it's going to give us 3. So our scale factor in this case, K is going to be equal to 3. So our answer is C as in Charlie. That really Number 11. Given triangle PRQ, so coordinates are here. What are the coordinates of R prime when we have it's dilated by a scale factor 2? So R is going to start out at the point here, which is 7 and 3. If we multiply it by a scale factor 2, R prime is now going to be the point 14 and 6. So 14, 6, which is going to be C as in Charlie again. Number 12, which statement describes a compound transformation shown from position A to position B? Well, it looks like what we're doing here is we're going to rotate it 9 degrees clockwise, and then we're going to end up moving it or translating it up. So that's going to be 9 degrees clockwise, and then translate it up, which is C as in Charlie. If the dilation about the origin maps M to M prime, what would the image of N be? So the first thing we have to do if we're going from M to N prime, they do tell us that it is a dilation, so we have some scale factor. What is our scale factor going from, let's go from 6 to 3. So image of 3 divided by pre-image of 6 is going to be a scale factor of 1/2. And sure enough, yeah, I mean, we're going from 6 to 3, or -12 to -6. It is a scale factor of 1/2. So what's going to happen to 10 and 5? Well, both of those are going to be multiplied by the same scale factor of 1/2, which is going to be 5 and 2.5, which would be our answer if D is in delta. Number 14, what do we call a dilation with a scale factor that's less than 1? Well, if it's larger than 1, it's an enlargement. If it's less than 1, it's a reduction, which is B as in Bravo. Everyone got that right. Well done. Number 15, what's the angle of rotational symmetry for a regular pentagon? Everyone got this one right too, so well done. So if we have a regular pentagon, we're basically breaking it up into 5 pieces here. Our formula for that is 360 degrees in our circle of altness divided by 5, which is going to give us 72 degrees even. So that would be what's left over here, the angle of rotational symmetry. So every time I rotate this 72 degrees, it should match up again. Clearly, it's not centered, but you get the idea. All right, so our answer is D as in delta. And the last one, which figure has both a line of symmetry and rotational symmetry? So on A here, if we put our dot in the center right here, if we rotated this, we clearly have a line of symmetry. We've got 2 lines of symmetry. And if we rotate 180 degrees upside down, it's going to match up with itself. So A is correct. It is going to have a line of symmetry and rotational symmetry. On B, we do have a vertical line of symmetry, but in order for the rotational symmetry, we have to rotate it all the way around 360 degrees. Everything is going to match up again when we rotate 360 degrees. So it does not have rotational symmetry. C, the problem with C is that we'd have to rotate it all the way back around because it's isosceles. These 2 sides look like they're the same, but this one is not. So it does not have rotational symmetry. Same issue here because these are the same. It's isosceles just like this one, which just looks a little different. We're not going to have rotational symmetry on this one. So the only one that has rotational symmetry is A, as in alpha. There we go, and that's going to be it. So pretty good on time. You guys like blew through this this practice test. You did really, really well, at least the ones who have done it so far. I'll look at the data again. If there's any issues, I can correct those later. But what we're going to do with the test, so I'm going to have you guys, we're going to go, because we were going to do this in class, of course, the test next week, but which you're watching it this week. Anyway, whatever, it's so confusing at this point. What we're going to end up doing, just like we did with the first 3 units and the midterm, we're probably going to do the same thing. So I'm going to have you take the actual test at home. So we'll do it at home. Just don't use your notes. Don't look on Google. Don't ask your friends or anything else. I want to know what you know, and you need to know what you know anyway. And then whenever we come back, whenever we finally get to come back, maybe right at like the last week of school or something like that, we'll take a test that'll be over unit 4 and unit 5. So transformations, and then the next unit we're going to do congruency, and I'll end up replacing your take-home test scores with the tests that we take in person. So make sure that you're taking this legit. If you don't do well on it, it's not the end of the world. We'll replace that test score later. And if you do some dishonest practices, you're going to get caught whenever we do the class, the test in class anyway. So just be honest, take it, do the best that you can, make sure that you study and stuff like that. If you have any questions, please let me know. I mean, now that we're doing distance learning, at least for this week, I'm not sure what's going to happen after Thanksgiving. Hopefully we can go back and do our in-class activities and our fun stuff. But if not, we're just going to keep doing all of our distance learning practices where we will have our Google Meets live at 11 o'clock. And I'll have more time to be able to do live tutoring. I'll probably reach out to you guys on Remind. If you're not on Remind, please sign up for that. It makes it a lot easier for me to basically like text you guys and get a hold of you, because it goes straight to your phone instead of to email that you guys never check, or have to call your parents and then they like hand you the phone, and that's not as easy. So it's really convenient if you guys get on Remind. That'll let me basically reach out and make sure if you have any questions, if I have any questions to ask you, I can get right a hold of you. It's really, 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 really convenient. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. Let me know if you guys need any help. I'm your teacher. I'm here. I want to help. I'll see you guys later.